I did a startup confessional here. The way to perceive a startup, and I was talking to a student today, was really to think about, think of what you're doing as trying to build a fire. And you don't have matches. You don't have a lighter. All you have is really your hands. And you're out in the wild, and there's nothing out there that you know that will just give it to you, give you the fire. And the first thing that you have to do is actually find the pieces to start banging together, whether it's wood against wood or whether it's, you know, steel against flint. And really what you need to think about those is really coming up with the collaterals or the basics of the project. It could be a business plan, it could be a prospectus, an idea, a vision statement, you know, or in some cases just getting out there and doing it. You know, building some example of the technology that you want to build and so on. The next stage now is actually lighting the fire, and really once you have the collaterals or the parts, the basic parts together, what you're busy trying to do now is actually get the fire going, and there's a lot of striking flint against steel, creating those sparks, and really that's what you're trying to do, is create the sparks. And in the business sense, how that comes about is really through emails, through connections, through, as my mentor Dean Fallon would say, walking the walk, talking the talk. I mean, it's about walking the walk, talking the talk. And I use another example for this now, and it's kind of vulgar, but I like it. You know, I always use the analogy that startup is like throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks. And, you know, every time you strike that flint, you're trying to, you know, ignite a fire. And once the fire is started, and this is early on in the project, and people start listening to your phone calls and reading your material instead of ignoring it or laughing at it, then what you're trying to do is build it up. And really, it's one, you know, if you've ever started a fire, it's really, you've got to be so delicate with it, and you got to be delicate with the people that are involved, and nurture their involvement, encourage their involvement, in some cases kiss ass, you know, provide the information they want in order for you to move forward, and so on. And all this takes great care, just as when you start a fire. And really what you are doing is, at this stage, is you're really trying to find the fuel. And all of a sudden, you know, an investor may come along, and that's your gasoline, you know, or all of a sudden you find a great piece of wood, it just boom, ignites, it explodes, and all of a sudden you have it. So, you know, that's the stage where we're at right now. Is we've got the little fire burning. We're adding piece by piece. We're continually pushing the idea, involving folks, encouraging participation. I would say the e-revolution movement is one of those groups that I have in place that is helping to fuel the fire. And the LinkedIn e-singularity E30 group is another one. And you know, and folks are linking with me and talking about it, and, you know, participating in the conversation. But you know, I'm still waiting for that jet fuel or nice big log to plop on, and, you know, I call that our angel to show, and it will happen. You know, And if it takes 5 years to happen, it's going to take 5 years to happen, but it's going to happen. But that's it. So a startup is like starting a fire in the wild, you know, and you got to nurture it, you got to get it started, and there's a lot, you know, anyone knows. I mean, getting the fire started is the hardest thing, and I spent probably 6 years banging on that flint off and on. And the beautiful thing right now, where we're at, the fire is started, and it's just a matter of time for it to ignite and really catch on, which it will.